Hi, everybody, it's Ms. Salazar, and welcome to Health Class. So, today we're going to be talking about food labels. Now, let's see, what can you learn from a food label? Well, a lot actually. A food label is information on a food package that tells you about the food. So, you can learn if a food is healthful by reading the food label. For example, caffeine is something found in some foods and drinks. So, you can find caffeine in coffee and in energy drinks like Monster, Gatorade, and Powerade. Now, caffeine makes you jumpy. Caffeine gives you like this boost of energy, and you can't sit still. You just can't. So caffeine wakes you up. So it's important for you to read the food label to see if your food or drink has caffeine. Now, food labels show you how much sugar and fat is in your food, and you can also learn how many servings are in a package. So in every package of food, you're going to have a label, a food label, and it's called nutrition facts. So nutrition facts, it's basically the information about the food. So the food label gives you information about the food. It tells you if it has this amount of calories, if it has this amount of sugar, this amount of fat. It's basically giving you information so that you know if the food that you're eating is healthy or not. So you make that choice, right? Like you look at the food label and you look at all the things that that food has and you get to decide, okay, so this food has a lot more sugar than this other food that I was going to buy. So it lets you compare foods and it tells you if the food that you are eating is healthy or not. And food labels, they tell you a lot of different things. And one of the most important things is the sugar, right? And the total fat. So it tells you how much fat that food has, and it tells you how much sugar you are eating. So let's see. There you go. So, how to read food labels. So, for example, here you have a chocolate bar, right? So, always look at the serving size. Look over here. Serving size, 1 bar. So, you have 1 bar, that's going to be your serving size. So, this product is high in total fat and saturated fat. So, if you look over here, where it says total fat, it's extremely high in both of them, right? So you have 32% in total fat. That's a lot of fat and it's unhealthy for you. And you have 65% of saturated fat. So that's extremely unhealthy for you. So for each day, try to consume no more than a total of 100% of these. So basically, it's telling you that whenever you eat a candy bar or whenever whatever food that you decide to eat, it's important for you to understand that the less the fat, the much better, because it's going to be a lot healthier. So it's important for you guys to keep that in mind. Look over here. It says that the serving size is 1 slice. So you have some bread. Let's see, always look at the serving size. 1 slice. This healthy whole wheat bread is low in fat and cholesterol. So if you look over here, look at the fat, 2%. And if you compare the fat to the candy bar has 32%. So the candy bar is obviously not healthy compared to the whole wheat bread. The whole wheat bread does have fat, and that's okay. Every food that you eat is going to have a little bit of something, right? It's going to have a little bit of fat, and that's okay. But it's important for you to lower that amount because it's going to be a lot healthier for you. There you go. So this is going to be your assessment, your first part of the assessment. It's going to be page 35 from the workbook, and it says write at least 3 things you can learn from the food labels. So use this food label to help. So remember what I said, food labels, they give you information about your food, about the food that you are eating. It basically tells you if the food that you are eating is healthy or not. Okay? And you can find the food labels in basically any food package except for vegetables and fruits that are sold separately. So have you guys ever seen vegetables and fruits just piled on at the supermarket? So when the vegetables and the fruits are not in a bag, they're not in a box, they're just there that you can pick them up with your hands, then that's not going to have a food label. But anything else that is packaged, anything else that is inside of a bag or inside of a box, it's going to have a food label. And it's going to have this. It says nutrition facts. That's what it's going to have. Now, why are food labels important? Again, they tell you information about the food that you are eating. So you know if what you are eating is healthy or not. Okay? And you guys already know where you can find them. And remember that food labels are basically just information on the food package that tells you about the food. So this is going to be the first part of your assessment. You're going to tell me three things that you can learn from food labels. So remember that food labels, they can tell you how much sugar this has, how much fat. It tells you how much protein it has. If you're eating a lot of protein, and protein is good for you, it's healthy. And the second part of your assessment is that you're going to take a page from your notebook and you're going to make a collage of food labels. A collage is basically, in this case, when you're going to put a lot of pictures together without leaving any spaces in between. So if you look at this example, I made a collage of food labels. Even though the food labels are on top of the other one, it doesn't matter. It's a collage. I'm not leaving any white spaces. I'm not leaving any spaces in between. And I used food labels and I organized them from the least amount of fat to the most amount of fat. So if you look over here, total fat, 0%. So that's awesome. I have no fat in this food. So that's going to be super healthy for me. If I look over here, I have 8 grams. So that's 10%, right? Okay, so that's not too bad. So that's why I have it next to this one, right? And then if I look over here, I have 16%. Okay, so it's getting a little bit higher. The fat is a little bit more. And then if I look at the last food label, I have 20% of total fat. So that's kind of a lot. So what I did is that I made a collage of food labels and I made sure to organize them from the least amount of fat, the least amount of fat to the largest amount of fat. And that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to look for food labels, you're going to paste them um, in one page from your notebook, and you're going to organize them from the least to the most amount of fat, just like this. You see? The least amount of fat, the least, 10%, 16, and then 20. And parents, you're going to send the assessments to LMS and PDF, but I know that LMS is having some problems, so you can send it to my email if you want. And that's going to be it, everybody. Bye.